I am 71 years old, and what I am about to say will make some people uncomfortable. For most of my adulthood, I carried one belief like a banner in front of me. A strong woman does not need a husband or children. She needs a purpose, a paycheck, and a front door that belongs only to her. That was the script I followed for 5 decades. In my 20s, I discovered feminist books, meetings, slogans, late debates. I remember sitting on apartment floors, arguing about independence, promising we would never trade freedom for a ring or a stroller. Every sentence in those circles felt like a step away from my mother's tired face at the sink. I swore I would never live like that. So I built another kind of life. I stayed late at the office. I said yes to promotion, trips, opportunities that proved I was untouchable. When men asked about marriage, I laughed it off. When one of them knelt with a small velvet box, I closed it and slid it back across the table with a smile that felt like victory. Friends slowly drifted toward another future. Baby showers, school meetings, noisy kitchens. I sent flowers, bought presents. Back then, I told myself I was winning. I had done everything I set out to do. I look at you now and admit something I never dared whisper. I proved I did not need a man or children. That is exactly why I am warning you. The moment everything cracked was not dramatic from the outside. No ambulance, no sirens, just an evening that refused to stay ordinary. I left the clinic after a checkup, carrying a leaflet with the word risk printed in red, and a tightness in my chest the doctor called stress. I drove home through traffic, surrounded by cars heading back to somebody. My door opened onto stillness. No shoes in the hallway, no voices, only the hum of the refrigerator. I kicked off my heels, heated a frozen meal, and ate standing over the sink. The television filled the room with noise that did not touch me. A sitcom family argued, forgave, laughed, while my own living room sat untouched, spotless, lifeless. I looked around at framed certificates, carefully chosen furniture, shelves lined with books about empowerment, and felt a question rise that I had spent years pushing away. What if I had won the wrong battle? That sentence landed heavier than any medical warning. My body would someday fail. That part never surprised me. What shook me was realizing my convictions had protected me from pain by also blocking tenderness, attachment, history with another human being. You can build an existence around ideals and still navigate straight past the things that would have made your time here feel full. You can be right about theories and mistaken about what allows you to rest at night. If you are young and listening, ask yourself this now. When the house is quiet and the messages stop arriving, who will share that silence with you? It was a small boy who finally cracked the shell I had spent decades building. He lived across the hall with his parents, a noisy couple who filled the corridor with laughter, spilled groceries, weekend music. I used to smile politely, then close my door and retreat into my private refuge. Their chaos reminded me of everything I insisted I did not need. One winter morning, the hallway was silent. No stroller, no misplaced toys, no hurried footsteps. Later that day, the building manager knocked. There had been an accident. Both parents gone in a moment, leaving a 7-year-old with nobody listed on the emergency forms except distant relatives overseas. I told myself I was only helping until social services figured things out. I picked him up from school, cooked simple meals, read bedtime stories from books I once bought for other children. He started leaving crayons on my coffee table, tiny socks under the sofa, drawings on the fridge with my name written shakily at the top. Weeks blurred into months. One evening, half asleep, he mumbled a word I had never expected to hear in my home. Mum. It slipped out like a question and a hope at once. I lay there staring at the dark ceiling, realizing a line had been crossed quietly without any meeting or declaration. Guardianship paperwork followed, signatures on crisp sheets, a judge asking whether I understood the responsibility. My hair was thinning, My knees complained on staircases. Yet when his hand slid into mine outside that courthouse, a warmth spread through my chest that no promotion had ever created. That was when I finally grasped why women glowed while describing first steps and school plays. I had stumbled into that light very late, with a body slowly moving toward dusk. I want to finish this by speaking to you, not as a symbol, not as a lesson, but as an old woman who has had far too many evenings to think. For years, I wrapped myself in ideas like a shield. I marched, argued, wrote, insisted that autonomy mattered more than attachment. None of those causes paid attention when the lights were off and the house echoed. Please understand this. A belief system can highlight injustice, demand fairness, open doors. It cannot hold your hand in the waiting room or sit beside a hospital bed. I am not asking you to abandon convictions. I am asking you to avoid turning them into a wall so high that no one can reach your softer side. If partnership, children, or shared life tug at your heart, do not silence that desire to impress friends, professors, timelines on screens. Do not postpone tenderness until you feel established. Jobs disappear. Titles change. Bodies slow. Emotional opportunity does not wait politely. Call the people who matter while they can still pick up. Invest in 1 or 2 relationships deeply instead of chasing constant validation from strangers. Choose work that leaves enough energy to laugh at dinner. Protect your health long before a doctor warns you with numbers and charts. Learn how to apologize and to forgive, because grudges age badly and weigh more than suitcases. Most of all, be honest about what you actually want, not what earns applause. I spent decades winning arguments and lost chances I will never recover. You still have stretch ahead of you. Use it well. Do not repeat my pattern. Ask yourself, right now, in the privacy of your own mind, whose footsteps you hope to hear walking toward your sofa when your hair is white. Choose with care.